Hi there, thanks for dropping by. Today I will take you through the steps to create a stunning thumbnail for your YouTube videos. Stick around.
Welcome, I am Professor Pogi. Starting in 3, 2, 1, engage.
Hello, welcome to Professor Pogi. As you know, I'm the husband of Queen Taz, and the most common comment we get on her videos is how do we do the thumbnails. So today I'm going to recreate a thumbnail that looks similar to this one that we use for the £30 food budget. Now it's going to be a bit difficult because I can't remember where I got the images from, but we'll work through it the best we can. Okay, so what we need to do is have a paint program. I use paint.net and currently at version 4.1.6. It's free. I think it's available for most platforms. You can use other programs like GIMP, or if you're rich and you can want to buy Photoshop. But today I'll show you how to do it in paint.net. I'll leave links in the description below or where you can get it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, this is a finished product. So as you can see, I've got a still from the Queen Taz video, from the raw footage. We've got some logos of the shop, names, we've got a shop background, we've got some text. Now I'm going to improve on that text a bit, and I'll show you how. Okay, so first thing we want to do is to grab an image from the original footage, and for this I use a piece of software called Media Player Classic, and you use that because it allows you to grab frames from any video. So this is the raw footage, and as you can see, this is before we start. Let me just turn the volume down on it. So what we're going to do, if we press pause, we'll just find a nice picture so that we can put on the front there. So it'd be nice if she smiled and she's looking at the camera. Okay, she's not smiling, but it will do. But you can see it just shows our front room, which wouldn't really make an interesting thumbnail, and to be honest it wouldn't really make an interesting background for the video, so we'll sort that out later. So okay, so we found the frame we want. So what we can do is do file and save image, and we'll put it to where we want to use it. So I'll just stick it in downloads for now. Okay, and we just got to remember this name. If you don't know, you don't think you can remember it, put something memorable. So I'll just put Queen Taz. Okay, so we go and open paint.net. Now I've got it pinned to the start menu board here, so just open it up, and we shall go and open that Queen Taz picture. Queen Taz. Now what we need to do now is actually cut my wifey out of this picture. So what I do, I've got a plugin called TR, and it does alpha cutter effects, all sorts. Now we're going to use the alpha cutter plugin, and I'll put a link in the description below. So we're going to use that, and what this does, it allows us to cut out a picture. Now we're not going to need all of this, but basically it's a bit like a magic wand or a lasso tool, but it allows you to be a bit more accurate, and we can zoom in, move the picture so we can cut things out properly. So let's just start to cut out this picture, and all we do, we're going around left clicking where we want this to be cut out. Now I'm going to zoom through this fairly fast because of time restrictions on videos. But if you're doing this for your own videos, you do this really carefully, do use a lot more points. You know, you sort of like looking at like that type of thing. But as this is just a demonstration, I'll do it quite rapidly. All I'm doing is the right mouse button to scroll around. The scrolly wheel in the middle of the mouse does the zoom, and if you hold down the right mouse button, it allows you to move the picture about. Now, we're not going to worry about the cat ears. Okay, wash his hair. Now, before you make a mistake like that, you can just click it and press delete, and that will take it away. Okay, so just carry on. Cut out, cut out, cut out. Now, Paint.net doesn't have this plugin installed as default, so it's something you have to download and add as an extra. But you'll find it really, really useful and make life a lot easier to do things like this. The magic wand function isn't fantastic, to be honest. So there we go. So we've got everything, anything within this red border will now be copied. So we say OK, and there we go, and that's what we've got. So that's part one done. Okay, we've got a mistake there, but that's because I wasn't taking care, but we don't worry about that for today. Okay, now we need to find an interior of a supermarket. So all I've done is go into Google, on the image search type copyright market supermarket interiors copyright free, and let's see what we can find. And there's a few, and you just get one which you think is going to be alright for your purpose. And this one, I'm to choose this one. I know it's different to what we used on the original thumb, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to right click that, copy image, go back to my paint.net, and I'm going to paste it as a new image. So go to edit, where I paste as new image. Okay, now we use HD for our videos, which is 720 by 2080, so we need to resize this. So I'm so used to using the shortcut keys, image, resize, which is Control R, 720, not quite right, so 1280 by 720, we can't do that in a minute, so what we have to do is do the next best thing, so 1280 by 853, we can trim that down in a minute, so make sure, there we go, it doesn't look as though it's changed, but it actually has. So now we need to crop it. So in this paint.net it's called canvas size, and we want to bring it down to the 720. It just, why we do this, it just makes it a little bit easier when we go into our video editing package, as it's in the same format as the video. Now, see, we've got different options where we can crop it to. So let's leave it in the middle, so a little bit off the top will be cropped and a little bit off the bottom will be cropped. There we go. Okay, now we've now got Wi-Fi, and we now got the supermarket. So what we can now do, because we want to draw the eye to my wife, we want to really keep the eye from being drawn to the shelves. So what we're going to do is just blur these shelves. So we'll do an average blur, and 3, that's more than enough. If you wanted it more, we could change it. Want it less, we can change it again, but 3 is perfect. So okay, let's go to Wi-Fi, and what we'll do edit, select all, edit, copy, go back to our supermarket. Now this time we don't want to paste that picture of the wife onto this background, because we might need to move stuff around, edit it slightly. So what we're going to do, sorry about that, was my phone, we're going to paste it as a new layer, and that'll go on top. So layers are independent of each other, so anything I do on this layer doesn't affect any others. Think of it like the old, how they used to do the cartoons. You put the background first, then the guy, then perhaps the trees moving in front. They're on different like plastic sheets. So imagine this being the same. Okay, now wifey is a bit small for this picture. Now, to be honest, it's not usually a good idea to zoom in a small picture to make it bigger. But as this, again, is just a demonstration, it shouldn't really matter. So I'm going to grab this corner and zoom it. Okay, I'll just position her there. So far so good. So it now looks as though she's actually in the supermarket. Right, if we go back to our original, let's have a look at the thumbnail, see what we need to do next. So yeah, we're getting there. So now this has got all the shop's logos down each side. So again, so we're not going to mess anything up. We're going to add a new layer over layer 1. Now if you want, you can change these names. So we'll click that, I will say background, that one. Oh, wrong one again. Sometimes my mouse doesn't always work. So wifey, this makes it a bit easy to look. Now if you hit add, it's going to add another layer on top of where you currently are. So if I hit add now, it'll put a layer over wifey, but let's do it on the background instead. So click background and add. Now you see it's brought in another layer. Now okay, all we want to do now is going to put the white borders down each side. Now as you can see at the moment, we've still got the selection tools, because we can see this dot. Now if we were to do anything, nothing would be shown up here. I'll just quickly show you on the effects inside that selection tool. Okay, so click that one, let's undo. So what we're going to do is make sure that everything's deselected. So that's it. So we can now do what we want anywhere we want. Okay, right, so we want to do white on each side. So what we'll do, we'll select white for our primary, and we've chosen the shape option, and we want to do a filled shape. Right, so let me just get rid of that. We'll do another one there. Let's do on the top there, and we'll do one side here. Now play with that to make it look as though they are similar. That looks fine. Right, so now we're going to put the logos on. So let's add another layer just so we can do some messing about. Let's go back to Google and let's look at some supermarket logos. Now in your local area you might have Save More, Royston's, if you're over in the States you might have Walmart. So I'll just choose some that are quite common here. So let's try Asda. I'll just say Asda logo, and that one looks okay. It's very big, so we'll copy that. So I'll just right click, copy image, and go back to our paint.net. Now this time I want to paste it as new image, because this is huge, Luke. It's 2040 by 926. Now we want to keep everything nice and in aspect ratio, so we'll change it here. So you press Ctrl R or do image, resize, and you'll get to this. Make sure the maintain aspect ratio is on, and let's try, should we say 200, and this will shrink it down. Yeah, that's not too bad. So let's copy that, select all, edit, copy, and now what we're going to do, we'll make sure layer 4, which is what our logos are going to be on, and we paste. And as you can see, we paste. Now at the moment, because this is highlighted, we can move this around, so we can move that out. So we'll put that one there, just make sure it's lined up. Okay, let's go find another logo. Aldi. Okay, we've got different logos, and I think the UK one is that one there, but again, it doesn't matter. Let's choose that one. Let's right click, copy image, go back to our paint.net. Let's just paste it as a new picture, just so we can change the size of it. Now what did we do there for the size? 206. Don't know why I chose 206. I'm sure I was supposed to have pressed 200, but it seemed to have worked. So again, we shall resize it. Let's go for 206 because we seem to have used that before. Okay, select all, copy, go back to our picture there. Now what we can do, we can either paste it onto this layer 4, which is fine unless you want to move things around, or we can paste it as a new layer. So let's paste it as a new layer, and I'll show you why. So now, because it's on a separate layer, we can move it about, change it, and do what we want with it. Okay, now if we decide we didn't like that Asda there, let's just deselect. We can go back to the Asda logo, which is on layer 4, and move that about. So that's the beauty of layers. It makes things so much easier to move it about. If it wasn't on a layer, we'd have to cut it out, paste it somewhere else. So okay, let's quickly zoom through and do, I don't know, let's do Walmart for our American friends. Let's try that one. No, let's try that one because we're on the white background. This one's going to be a bit better. So right click, copy image, go back to paint. We've seen that the white on this side isn't as wide as the white on the other side. So what we do, we select the layer 3, which is the 2 whites, and we select the selection tool, and we just select it like that. Edit, copy, edit. We're going to paste it onto the same picture, and then using the arrow keys, we can move it across. Now you can use the mouse keys if you want. And if you press down the control, it just makes it a bit faster. And as you can see, just take that to the end there, done. So that's the same width. Now for some reason I didn't put the watermark in the middle, so let's do deselect, and let's choose the layer with which this watermark is on, which I can see is layer 8, and we can just move it. See, this is the beauty of working on layers. Nothing, one layer doesn't affect the other layer. And look at that, save more isn't lined up properly, so we select the save. To here. Let's paste as a new layer. There we go. Where's our Tesco? And you can see we can't see the background because it's white. So what we're going to do is add a border or an outline. Now, how it works in paint.net, you can't have it selected like that. So you got to make sure that deselect. So there's no selection tool there. You go into Effects, Object. I'm going to use a drop shadow. It's a bit easier, and choose black, take off the blur radius, let's say a widening radius of No, I think 2 is nicer. Okay, and there we go. We now got our border on there. Okay, so let's quickly to go and choose some more logos. That'll do, because unless we get a really small logo in there, but again, it's just for demonstration. Let's sort of make sure it's selected. Right, so on our original £30 food budget question mark. Now I originally did this with the text feature of paint.net, but I found a really good site which does nice text, and it's called flamingtext.co.uk, and it's got all these different types of text which look really good. They do all sorts, but just for example, let's just go through some of these of what we can use. Oh, there's one there called supermarket, wasn't there? Then go back one. Come on, supermarket. So we could use that. Well, let's look at that. Fabulous, that looks nice. So we'll click it, and which one do we like most there? Now we can have different backgrounds, but to be honest, we don't want a background with this, but this one looks, let's try that one. Okay, so that's the logo text. So let's do, oh, £320. I wish our food budget was that. So what was the text again? £30 food budget. Okay, £30 food budget question mark. Okay, so that's what it will look like. Now we don't want a background, we want a transparent background. Okay, it's up to you whether you want shadows. There's a slight shadow on that. Let's make the text bigger. Doesn't matter if it's too big, we can always shrink it down. It's nicer to shrink things down in size than it is to increase them. So we can go really mad, go really big. Okay, and click next. Now you can buy the logo, but on this, if you just click your logo, it will save it. So just click it, and you see it's been saved as coollogo.com 10. Okay, so we'll go back to our paint.net, and we shall open that up, and as it puts it in, users, whatever your username is, downloads, and it's there. See, and it's exactly what we want. £30 food budget, transparent background, so we don't get any colours over our photos or anything. So again, we can do select all, edit, we copy it, we go back to our shopping thing, and this time we want to make sure that we're on the topmost layer. On this one it happens to be, let's have a look, layer 11, because when we paste this as a new layer, we want it to go to layer 12. So we go edit, paste as new layer. There we go. Even though it says layer 11, it's actually layer 12. And there's our text on there. And as you can see, because we chose transparent background, it doesn't affect anything there. Now that's a little bit too big, so what we can do, we can resize it to what we want and just reposition it. Okay, let's do select, deselect. Now it would be nice to, if we had a bit of a black border and a shadow on that, just to make it stand out a little bit more. So we'll make sure it's selected there, the layer selected. Make sure the deselection on the thing itself is switched off, and we go to effects, object, drop shadow, and as you can see, we've got a widening radius of 2 pixels, which doesn't really do anything. So let's move that up to 5, and as you can see, every time we change that, we are getting a wider black here. But it would be nice if it faded out a little bit, so we put a little bit of a blur radius. And what that's doing is blurring the outline, so it sort of blends better. And you can see that looks good. Okay, let's have a look at our original. no way. So we need to do no way. So let's go back to this flaming text and let's choose a different logo, just so you can see that there are different logos. Let's do fluffy, why not? And let's have which one should we have? What looks nice? We'll choose that one, but we won't use the background in that. So we'll say no way. Oh, it should be in capitals. No way. Yeah, that'll do. Take the background, and we want to make sure the background is transparent. Yeah, it's a text. Let's make it big. Next, takes us to that. Click it again. That'll save it. This time it's coollogo.com 87. Go back to Paint. Let's open that. There we go. Again, transparent background, so we don't have to worry about it. Let's copy it all. Select all. Edit. Copy. Back to our thing there. Make sure we're on the top one. Edit. Paste as new layer. And there we go. Yeah, and as we did before, let's put a bit of a border and a shadow on it. So make sure it's deselected. And we go to Effects, Object, Drop Shadow. And because we've just used it, it's kept all the settings. So our border on the no way is the same as the food budget. So click OK, and there we go, and that's finished. Now I would recommend to save this as the standard format of paint.net, which is the .pdn. That will save the individual layers, so we can come back and alter it later. And I just used to call it a thumbnail. Save it to PDM. Then to import it into our video editing software, it needs to be in the standard format. So we'll say save as, and this time we'll choose a JPEG or a PNG or a BMP, whatever your software needs. So we'll save that as a JPEG, and because it's JPEG, it'll ask us what type of quality. Just leave it on the default, and it'll say, do you want to flatten all the layers? Yes, we do. So as you can see, all the layers have been put on top of each other, and it's become one picture. Okay, so there's part one. There's our thumbnail. Now, on the original, on the completed video, you will see that we have something similar on the actual video as an overlay. So let me just go to the complete finished videos. There we go. Right, here's the finished video you will have seen. Let's just fast forward it, and as you can see, this is the overlay we use on the video. Now it's dead easy. I use a software called Shotcut, which allows you to use pings, which has transparent backgrounds, and just like paint.net, the transparency doesn't affect anything. So that looks, you see, that looks a bit better than that. We don't want to see the computer or the telly, so that's why we put that on. So to do that, it's dead easy. Let's go back to our thumbnail, and we want to go back to how it was in the layers. So we'll open recent, and we'll just reopen it with all the layers. Now on the video, we don't really want the text, so we can go to layer 12 and we just turn it off, or if you want, you can delete it. Layer 11, let's delete that. Wifey we don't want, so we delete her. Sorry wife, bye bye. Now what we want to do is be able to see through this picture of the shopping aisle. So what we do, we go to a layer which has got that picture on, and this one happens to be called background. And how it works, what we want to do is select, using the selection tool, a bit in the middle, or where the video is going to show through, right? So all we've got to do, select the area we want, select the erase tool, and let's make the brush big, or else we could be here all day trying to erase it, and we just blank it out. So now that we've got a transparent bit, but as you can see, the edge is a bit hard, and that will look a bit odd in the video. So again, using the effects, and this time we're going to use a plugin called TR's Effects. And what that is going to do, as you can see, it's a bit hard to see on this, but it actually puts a blur, and depending what type of option you use to what type of blur, and you can make that blur really wide or really narrow. So let's just choose 163. Let's see, no, let's a little bit less, and apply that. I'll let it work, and there we go. As you can see, it's now blurred the edges. Okay, we can undo it if the blur is a bit too much, which that seems to have been. So let's just try once again. Oops, try once again, but this time we won't use 122, we use, say, 90. Oh yeah, 90. There we go. Let's try it again, and the 90 is the depth of the blur, so that's a little bit better. Sort of. So what we now save that as overlay, or OL as I usually call it, because I'm too lazy to type in overlay. Save it as the .pdn so we can edit it later, and this time so I can use it in Shotcut or whichever video editing program you happen to use. We need to save it as a PNG file or PNG, and that will retain the transparency. Okay, and now that's flattened it all into one layer, and it's now a PNG file. Now, just to give you an idea what that will look like with the video, we'll just open the original Queen Taz. There's our original picture. What we're going to do is select all on this, and we're just going to copy. Oh, select all. Let's try again. Copy it. Now, imagine this is the video in the video editing software. We just edit as a new layer. So this is what the video will look like in the end. So it looks a lot better than being able to see the TV and the shopping cart and the computer sat in the corner. Anyway, that's that. Have a play around with paint.net, that logo software website. I'll just go back to it, and it's called flamingtext.co.uk. It's brilliant, it's free, you can buy logos if you want. All the pictures I get are just from Google Image. I do use a couple of other sites for clip art, for vectors. One is called Clip Max. You can get all sorts of transparent background pictures, which I use for logos and things. It's all free there. Another one I use is Kiss Ping. Here they tend to be more photos and vector graphics, which if you've seen the K-pop videos I edited, you have seen that I've used some of these on there. So we could be naughty. Let's say we don't want Wi-Fi on that thumbnail, so let's download this cute girl. Let's go back. Let's go back to that. I'll tell you what, let's reopen our thumbnail. Okay, let's open that Kiss Neon. There she is. See, background is transparent, so I can do edit, select all, edit, copy, go back to that, and sorry Wi-Fi, you're going to go So let's paste this on the layer above Wi-Fi. So edit, paste this new layer. Okay, it's large, it doesn't matter. We can keep canvas size. And there you go. I'm sorry Wi-Fi, you've gone. So let's resize that. So she'll make it a look like that. Take Wi-Fi off. Edit, deselect all. And there we go. So the Wi-Fi, we've got a cute girl, a K-pop girl in the supermarket. And because we've used layers, we can do things like that. It's so easy. Well, I hope this has been informative, and I hope you've followed what I've done. If you have any questions about how to do things in Paint.net, please leave a comment below. If you want me to cover anything else that you may have seen on the videos I've edited regarding graphics, again, comment below, or send me an email. Have a look in the description for the email address. Coming up soon will be tutorials on other things like using the shortcut video editor and various different things like that. So hope you've enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, tell your friends, share this to your friends, click like, because that really does help me, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy. Bye bye.